All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Quick break there. Pleased to be joined by, I guess, the winner of the weekend. 2-0, the victorious head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, Mark Pavlik.
Nice to be here.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks for giving us some of your time. This has been a phenomenally good weekend. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, all around, all over, from the juniors tournament to the play here for all 4 matches. For January volleyball, this is the closest representation of what a Final Four really feels like.
Mm-hmm. We kind of felt the same thing, especially even that match just now. I mean, Stanford had a new setter, a true freshman setter out there, but the speed and the contact height of a lot of the guys, I made the comment to Everett earlier, like,
well, and not only that,
here.
The competition part of a Final Four, yes, for sure here. But also there are many things when you go to the NCAA tournament that are out of your control. Everything is structured. Here's your practice time. Here's when you're going to eat. Here's where you're going to stay. Let's be in the gym. Here's the media commitments. Something that you don't have in the regular season, and things that during the regular season we can control when we serve and pass, when we eat. Now it's kind of the guys have that opportunity to get that whole experience for logistically what goes on at an NCAA championship event.
I did not think about it that way. That might be extremely valuable when it comes to that time of the year.
Yeah, if they'll bring us back down to Texas, but we get on the bus and go to Mason this year. So
a familiar environment for sure.
Yes.
Oh, you keep them going. I'm just here. I'm just here enjoying it. But I mean, we can jump into tonight's game.
Let's do it.
Yeah, like you guys jumped out to a quick 2-0 lead, and they seem to gain a little momentum in the third. And we were talking earlier that if you take away if you lose that physicality, the other team's going to punish you. Is that what you felt with your team tonight? You kind of went away from that physicality in the third set?
Yeah, I thought that, in that third set they had that early lead, and they got some of it by like throwing fists at balls, slowing things down, and then not really being overly physical with their swings, but just kind of throwing. And all of a sudden it was like we wanted to say, all right, we're gonna try to get cute. We're gonna try to chop our serve and catch them off balance there. We're gonna try to make sure that we're behind the line, and I thought we got away from being physical. And I think we started to return to being physical when we tied it in Game 4.
Yeah. That late game in Set 4 was very high level and very fun to watch. The back and forth, the chess match, the serving strategy, the different rotation strengths and weaknesses. That's kind of Final Four-like stuff.
Yeah, and I firmly believe in the men's game. Well, I think in any game, given whatever level you're at, whatever level of physicality you can be at, you got to be at it. You can't back off.
Right.
And for us, we and John, and this is not anything that only we do, but I think you got to preach. You got to believe in your physicality, and the whole physical serving game. Which depending on which side you're on, how can you miss so many serves? How can you? And you start to say, well, I've been Jalen Jaspered last night to death, and you see him bounce balls.
You get sick of that pretty quick.
when they put, when you give them a serve that doesn't challenge them, and it's perfect pass, and they set Jalen, and what happens after that ball breaks floorboards? Collectively, the team that sided out, chest gets bigger. Look what we're doing.
It's when a point is worth more than a point.
And then, but if they're going to side out, I'd rather they side out on our terms, where Brett Wildman misses a serve at 71, where the reaction by them is, whoo, I'm glad that ball was out of bounds. It's a totally different emotional response to a side out that I think is it might be an oversimplification, but I think it's very important, because I think the men's game is so quick, right? We don't have the rallies that the emotional release leads into, the good teams let it lead them into their next ball contact.
100%.
The really good teams know where they're at, shut it down, stay at that level, and then take the next rally independent of what happens.
And from a man who's seen teams at every level of this game and physicality and ability to control the emotion, how about when you don't have your starting opposite, when you have no Cal Fisher, and you have this John Kerr character come basically off the bench and play that well. I was so impressed by him this weekend.
Yeah, Johnny has been in our gym for the last 3 years. Big boy. We've used him as a blocking spec because he gets his hands across the net pretty darn well.
He has a very, very good clip of that one-on-one he got on Snooey where the ball hit the ground before either of them. It's a phenomenally good video.
Yeah. It'll be up on Instagram in the next hour.
Very shortly.
You got to make sure I know what
Volleyball Source.
Volleyball Source. Yeah.
Volleyball
You know what? Actually, even we'll collaborate it with your men's volleyball page, and it can be up in your Instagram feed for your fans as well.
So I thought John looked great. I thought Brett looked very, very good, and whoever reached into Resovia, Poland to recruit Michał Kowal deserves a raise.
How did that happen? How do you get the Polish kid on your team?
You've asked me 3 questions about 3 guys. Which one do you want to answer first?
All of them. I don't know. Tell us about Michał.
Michał, we saw a video on him. We saw how well he touched the ball. You know, we looked at him and said, are there more physical kids here in the U.S.? The answer is yes.
Of course.
But we also said how he moved, how he played the game. You know, his father coached professionally in Poland.
Oh, okay.
So you know he grew up around it.
You can tell. Yeah.
Yes.
We could tell the instant we saw him yesterday, and we cover a lot of international volleyball, so we researched Plusliga, Italy, and then I'm like, that's a Polish kid.
Yeah.
If I didn't know he was Polish, just by watching him move, you could tell.
Yeah.
He hit a shot where he delayed his timing on the way down and rolled it off an unsuspecting block tonight. I'm like, we don't teach that to juniors in the U.S.
Right. And I think with Michał, we saw that. He came in as a freshman, and he and Michael Valenzi battled for that starting 0-2 position. Valenzi won because Michał wasn't physical. Then we found out through our trainers that he had basically a nerve that was being constricted.
Oh.
So
like shoulder, neck?
Yeah,
or?
right shoulder. So he went home, had surgery, rehabbed, came back last year, still because he lost the development his freshman year because of that pinched nerve. Valenzi was still ahead of him. He went home, he trained with a junior national team in Poland this summer.
Okay. Wow.
Came back, and all of a sudden, he was hitting balls like you saw tonight.
Yeah.
And now with his defense, with his serving, he's scoring us points. So it was really just, he sent us the clip, and we said, yeah, we'll take it. Now, who do you want next, Kerr or?
Tell me about Kerr. Keep telling me about John Kerr.
Kerr, 3 years in our gym. He's 6'7", 6'8", whatever. I think he's got a 7'1" wingspan.
Nice.
And but he doesn't. He like most guys in the U.S. that didn't play at a high-level club. He plays like the kids that he grew up in high school and the club he's playing with, who are all of about 6'1". So I think he sees himself as a 6'1" player.
Wow.
And it took us, hey, John. And he still doesn't have a great arm. He doesn't have an international arm.
No.
But he hit the angles. He hits high enough.
Contact,
yeah. And I was real interested tonight because I think Stanford's as good a defensive team as we're going to see.
Yeah.
How good's that Louis kid, huh?
Justin Louis.
And,
we love him.
And how Johnny was going to respond to that. And I haven't seen stat. What was his number?
15 for 37. 6 unforced errors. Did not get blocked at all. 41% kill, 24% efficiency.
I'll take the 41% kill.
Good take.
And and he like I say, block balls. His serve's kind of
ace
funky.
late in the fourth.
Oh boy.
Biggest point of the weekend probably.
The stuff block.
Yeah.
And then he goes back and he serves and he's got the ace. And so the real key is going to be Cal Fisher, returning All-American, opposite, totally different types of opposite. Cal is 6'3", super athletic, quick arm. He is third in our career aces list. He's behind 2 jokers by the name of, I think, Max Holt and Aaron Russell.
Jokers.
And, yeah, at best. And so Fish is a point scorer. Johnny this weekend has shown us against this competition he can score points too.
Yeah.
So now the question becomes, how do we get both of those point scorers on the court?
That is a great question, and I'm fascinated to see how you answer it.
So am I. So am I.
Tell us about this event kind of overall. What is the significance now of the First Point Collegiate Challenge in its second year to NCAA men's volleyball?
I think it goes deeper than just NCAA men's volleyball. I think it goes deeper to an area that for years we never looked at as having any type of boys volleyball feeder system, right? Texas was never a factor. Now you're looking at the kids that are playing on the other side of that curtain, and you're seeing that in the next 5 years, you're going to have some pretty good athletes from Texas that everybody's going to say, hey, we don't, you got Merritt McHenry over at UCLA, and
Leedsky normally for Stanford from here. Yeah.
And if he would have been healthy, it'd been real interesting to see. But I think these types of events celebrate men's and boys volleyball. And are they necessarily meant to bring in the non-volleyball people? Not necessarily.
No.
But I think it's to really give a shot in the arm to those like Glenn Litsky here who's doing this to say, hey, guys, here's where you can be. So I think this is an awesome event. Really glad we were part of it this year, and hopefully over the next future years we'll be back down to be part of it too.
It's phenomenal to see the positive attention that it's gotten in the house and nationwide already, and the level of volleyball has been incredible. So you guys from here, I was looking at your non-conference schedule still continuing. What, you got UCLA, you're doing a Southern California trip, right?
No, they're coming to us.
There we go.
They're
Even
coming
better.
to us. We got this weekend, Long Beach was at George Mason.
Yep.
They're busing up to State College tomorrow. We're landing at State College tomorrow. We're playing Long Beach on Wednesday.
Beautiful.
Wow. And then we have the weekend off. And the next weekend we've got USC and UCLA as part of the Big Ten Pac-12 Challenge.
Wow, that's
so Ohio State's coming in too, I assume. Great.
Yeah. So it'll give me a feel for what the old MPSF schedule used to be like.
It sounds like it.
No days off. No days off in those leagues.
So real quick, Coach, do you guys have like this jam-packed schedule, some of the best teams? It feels like when we talked about it at the beginning of your game, it feels like these were two teams that are gunning for the national championship. And is that where you guys see yourselves at the end of the year?
I think we're in the discussion. I think we can be in the discussion. I think, when you look at who we're playing this year, certainly these two teams, Long Beach, USC, UCLA.
And then Hawaii. And
then we'll get UCLA again in Hawaii. We'll get Hawaii. We'll get Fort Wayne. We got Ohio State coming in, the second half of our Big Ten schedule. And I think who we are, what we do, we don't want to say we don't want to play these guys.
Right.
And I think this group of kids have earned the right to say, just how good are we?
Who's your biggest competition in the EVA this year?
I would have said early on, my vote was at New Jersey Tech.
Right,
and they've got a collection of really good players, and I haven't seen any video of them, but I know they haven't gotten off to a great start.
Okay.
I think Harvard lost to Fort Wayne maybe today.
I know they lost to Ball State. I haven't seen the schedule today.
I think it might have been 3-0 Fort Wayne beat them, and I haven't noticed anything about Princeton, so I'm not sure.
Princeton always starts out with a West Coast swing because they're not in class until like January 23rd, 24th.
Oh, weird Ivy League academic calendar, huh?
Right.
Okay.
So, but you can never count Princeton out because we know what they did to us last year. And I think, I don't know if anybody's going to go through the EIVA undefeated. Okay. I just think there's enough good teams. We're playing with us now down to 6 teams. We're going kind of an unweighted schedule with we'll go to New Jersey Tech for 2 Friday, Saturday. We'll go to Mason, and we'll go to Harvard.
Okay.
And we'll have Princeton at our place twice and Charleston at our place twice.
Okay. Yeah, because now with the NEC splitting off, I'm sure the scheduling has been a very interesting discussion.
Yeah, and thankfully the coaches of the EIVA are a great group. We work really well together. There's always a lot of different perspectives that are brought up and kicked around, and I think we try to take a real good look at what's best for everybody. and we'll see. I don't think anybody can sleep on Charleston. I think Luke Reynolds has got some foreign guys in, and with his foreign contacts.
I forgot. Reynolds is over there at Charleston.
That crazy Australian.
Yeah, crazy Australian guy. I mean, he used to coach up in Canada for Brandon as well too. So yeah, and spent some time. He was at JW for a little bit in the Plus Liga. Yeah, remember last year the guy who started last year at the beginning of the season for JW, and then he was suspiciously canned. He came and. I think he did women's a little bit, and now he's...
he was at Charleston all of last year.
Right, Gardini got fired from JW last year, but Reynolds was there a couple years before.
Oh, yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah.
And like that club carries some weight.
So I think that it's going to be, everybody's looking at this run, and my biggest challenge is to tell our guys, we got to play whoever's on the other side of the net.
That's right.
We can't make any value judgments. We got to be who we are. And hope that the other team hasn't trained too hard.
How beneficial is that especially the East Coast, like the EVA has gotten so much stronger?
Well, the EIVA is, and I will say we go by the EIVA.
Sorry, fair enough. I apologize. The EIVA.
We'll let you, you're Canadian.
Yeah.
I think that the EIVA right now is almost like that teenager who's just gotten his driver's license.
Oh, okay.
Big moment.
Yes. I'm really comfortable. But you put him in traffic for the first time, and it's like, I get a sense that's where we're at. Because like New Jersey Tech has some really good players. Harvard, Baser up there, Brian Bays has put together some nice talent for Harvard. Sam has done a real nice job at Princeton. Luke. And then you got Jay down at Mason, who's been around the block a few times. Mm-hmm. And we're right on the cusp of, I think, knocking on the door as a league, saying, "Hey, we can knock off anybody."
Fair enough.
But
I think we might have seen that this weekend.
Yeah, but the bad thing is for me is, if you would say to the general volleyball public out there, which EIVA team would you expect to do what was done tonight? Mm-hmm. They would say us.
They would say you guys, absolutely.
And I think that we're getting closer to where there's going to be statement wins made by other teams.
Yeah. For the record, I'm going to blame my Eva on Kevin Barnett, because that's what he used to call you guys on the net live, and that's what I grew up with. So let's just blame Barnett.
Yeah, Barnett's got broad shoulders. He can handle this.
Hope Barnett's watching. I just talking to him earlier this week.
Those Pepperdine waves,
Of course.
Can't live with them and can't live without them.
Well, you could try.
Coach, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for covering us.
Our pleasure. The game deserves it. This event deserves it. And I hope that the people who follow us follow a lot of international ball, and we get some new NCAA fans that start to see what's going on here and really feel the momentum and continue to follow along with the season. So, and like you talked about your schedule, there's going to be some must-watch games coming up in the very near future.
Yeah. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Don't hurt each other.
That only happens when USA Canada comes around in the summer.
Yeah,
we made a bet on that so we do a podcast on Tuesday nights, and he had to sing our national anthem when we 3-0'd Canada in Nations League. So
which is because I don't know if he knew our national anthem.
Hey, I don't know either. I have yet to hear him sing it. So
I was preparing. I would have had to sing the bilingual version of "O Canada." I would have had to learn the French verse.
Good one there.
Exactly. I mean, our team wasn't as good. We weren't fielding as the quality that we had in years past. So I knew making any bet I was probably going to be losing. So I had to up the stakes a little bit on his end.
So that's when our little relationship gets fun. When there's international blood on the line. But now we're.
It's good to know. At least now I know who to root for.
There. Hey, we'll take you in any time you want. Give you a nice maple leaf.
Thanks, Coach.
Full transparent. I am a huge Penguins fan. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, mostly Canadian guys on that team as well. So
we got some U.S. guys too.
Yeah,
hey, we got the most winningest U.S. coach ever now in Sully.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. But you still got Crosby. You got Sid the Kid. That golden goal in 2010 will forever.
Awesome.
Yeah, will forever keep us going. But Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was great to watch your team down here, and hope to see you guys competing at the national championships later on in this year.
All right.
Virginia.
We'll see you
Looking
down in
forward to it.
Virginia.
Thanks,
you.
Coach.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right.